This setup might look familiar to those of you who've been a part of the channel for a while, only this time I have a bit more of a professional setup. In Hello, the camera I used was just my phone, and it was on this phone holder and duct taped to the dash of my car. And then the lapel mic I used was the cheapest one that I could find on Amazon at the time. But we made it work. And there shouldn't be any sentient cars interfering this time. Occasionally, I like to reflect on my life, specifically on the things that have led me to this point in my life, on the things that made me happy, joyful, on the things that were confusing in the moment, but are now like, oh, that's why that happened, or that's why I did that. In the last couple of years alone, my life has gone through a lot of change. So I think, for now, I'm going to call this video, The Journey So Far. There are so many things under that title that I could talk about, but I'm going to try and stick with the journey of this channel. However, the channels in my own journey are closely intertwined. I think I'm a person who is decent at many different things, or interested in many different things. Decent might be a strong word. Even as a kid, I don't think I had one answer to the question that all the grown-ups love to ask. What do you want to be when you grow up? In fact, now that I think about it, I don't think I had any answer to that question. And when senior year of high school rolled around and I had to figure out the answer to that question for myself and for the rest of my life, I still couldn't figure it out. I applied to 12 different colleges, each with a different major in mind. Some in music, production, or composition, some in outdoor type stuff, some in history and archaeology. I even had a legitimate panic attack over it. Eventually, I did settle on one school and one major, and I stuck with it for 4 years, till I got my magical piece of paper that says that I am now qualified to have a professional job. Woohoo. But even in college, I had no idea what I really wanted to do. I still don't, if I'm being honest. Not really. But it was in this struggle to find the one thing that I'm good at and passionate about when I had a dream. I'm talking about a literal dream. Like, I went to bed one night, and when I was asleep, my subconscious pooped out the most vivid and inspiring dream of my entire life. I still remember it. It stuck with me so much that in my waking life, I meditated on it at school and when I was talking with friends and family. I could not get it out of my head. And in the thinking about it, it began to turn into a story. So I wrote my first script, sort of. I had written scripts before that, if they could even be called scripts, when I was younger. In my backyard years, I like to call them. The days when I was spending all of my time either out in the backyard playing dress-up, making swords out of wood, literally sawing the pieces of scrap wood my dad gave me into semi-sharp objects, or spending my days playing video games on my brother's PS3. The good old days. But this script that I wrote was different. I was not only old enough to know how to look for script formatting, and to then choose from that what I wanted to incorporate and what I didn't, but I was old enough to do research on the things that I thought about. The type of research that puts authors on FBI watch lists. But the whole story isn't contained in a single 45-page script. It needed more. It still does. It spans years and huge life events and major growth in the characters. By now I'm sure you've realized that I'm being very coy with not explaining what my dream was. That's because I want this dream to turn into the most ambitious project that myself, and maybe even my friends and family, will ever work on. We are nowhere near being able to work on this project right now, other than on my part because I need to write more scripts for it, but I'm still going to hold it close to the vest. This dream gave me something to be passionate about, but I didn't know what to do with it. My brother, Ian, who has been on this channel before but not nearly enough, is one of the closest people in my life. I shared my dream and some of the other separate ideas I'd had with him. Now, the rest of this part you might know because I've talked about it before. He had the idea, funny enough, around the time when he was about to enter college, of starting a YouTube channel. He shared that idea with me, and I suddenly realized that I had a way of making my literal dream come true. Maybe. I knew then that I couldn't immediately get to work on such an ambitious project as my dream. But as I mentioned earlier, I had separate smaller ideas that I could start making. So I did. We made a fan teaser for a movie continuation of my favorite TV show. Eventually, I told my friends, my best friends, my dream and my ideas, and we made Hello and the Beef sketch. I've made several other projects with their help, and I have so many more projects that I want to work on. We posted that teaser on the channel, making it our first upload, and it did decently well. It didn't break any records or bring thousands of subscribers to the channel, but it still felt like a success. I was relatively new to editing videos and the amount of work that goes into a video like that, so I learned a lot just from that one video. But beyond all that, I felt something that I hadn't really felt since the backyard years. Fulfillment. I made something from my imagination a reality, and people enjoyed it. I created something tangible. I think that was when I got the bug. So, of course, I had to make more. Eventually, I realized that my ideas of short films and sketches and fan trailers took a lot of time that I didn't necessarily have. So, to continue to make videos, since I was addicted to making content now, I fell back on something that I knew decently well: video games. And I couldn't completely get away from my need to film things. I guess I've kind of thrown some cinematics into some of those too. Through all of the projects and all of the changes, the channel has continued to grow. I'm honestly astounded at how much it's grown in its short lifespan. I know that people like to compare the things that they make to what other more popular people make, but I don't think that's fair. We are all unique individuals with unique interests and visions. What one person does that might be watched by millions doesn't mean that what I make, that's watched by a few hundred, if I'm lucky, is any worse or any better. My content isn't theirs, and their content isn't mine. It might be similar, and I might watch theirs not only for enjoyment, but to also try things like different editing styles or energies during recording, but it doesn't mean that they are the same. I try to tell myself that a lot. Comparison is a dangerous game, so I try to focus on my own personal enjoyment. I play the games that I enjoy, make the videos that I want to make because I think they're fun to make. I love this channel, but I don't think this channel is the one thing that I'm passionate about. It's a vessel in some ways. The things that I do for this channel, recording, filming, editing, writing, and really even acting, those are my passions. But they are my passions for now. Humans are not timeless beings. We are bound by time, and we cannot live outside of it, so we can't know what the future holds for us. I don't know if I'm going to do this channel for the rest of my life. I'd like to. If it means I can continue to make awesome videos and play awesome video games and make cool film stuff, but I don't know for sure. And I've wrestled with that for so long. When I finally did make this channel and I started doing the Let's Plays, I wrestled with not knowing if this was my purpose. Being a person of faith, I believe that we all are created with a purpose. I still don't know if this is mine. I may never know that until I die. But it's something that I'm doing now. And I'm gonna have to be okay with that. This channel has come a long way already, but I want to take it further. Right now, the channel can't support itself, so I have to have a job to support it and myself, which means that I have less time to work on it. That's also something that I'm gonna have to be okay with. I have less time to work on videos, if you haven't noticed, but I don't want to stop working on them. I realize that the smart thing to do would be to put aside perfect editing and just upload videos with minimal editing. I can't do that. So instead of frequent uploads, you're gonna get maximum effort uploads that are more spread out. Different types of content, and as always, projects. I have visions for the future of this channel, but I have almost no control over whether those visions will happen or not. What I do have is the ideas the good Lord gives me, some money in my pocket, and the world's greatest friends and family around me to support me and help me make my crazy ideas. So, are you ready?